Chapter 1. The Calm Before the Storm. Word count 700, bro. You finally did it. Hassan slapped my shoulder as I parked the silver GTR in front of the cafe. I grinned. 3 years of saving, man. Every overtime shift, every canceled hangout. All worth it. The sunlight hit the hood just right, and for a second, I swear I heard angels. My dream was real. Bet Maya screamed when she saw it, Hassan teased, sipping his cold coffee. She cried. I laughed. Said she's never seen me so happy. He smirked. She's a keeper, huh? Yeah, I said, smiling faintly. 3 years together. I'm lucky. We sat there a while, talking cars, life, and plans. My phone buzzed. Maya calling? Speak of the Queen, Hassan said, chuckling. Hey, love, I answered. Her voice was soft. Hey, you at the cafe? Yeah, with Hassan. You should join us. I can't tonight. Got some stuff to help a friend with? What friend? I asked. Someone from work, she said quickly. Don't worry, okay? Her tone sounded off, hesitant, almost guilty, but I brushed it aside. All right. Be safe. I will. Love you, she whispered. Love you too. I hung up, forcing a smile. Hassan raised an eyebrow. She sounded weird. She's tired, I said. Work's been rough, if you say so. He leaned back. Just don't ignore red flags, bro. You're too trusting. I laughed it off, but something in his words lingered. Later that night, I called her again. No answer. Texted twice. Delivered. Maybe she was busy. Maybe her battery died. I tried to believe that I walked into my apartment, keys jingling. The GTR keys sat on the table like a trophy. I ran my fingers over them, still not used to the feeling. Finally mine, I whispered to myself. No one's taking this away. My phone buzzed again. Maya, can I borrow the car tomorrow? I frowned. Why? Need to pick something up. Promise I'll be careful. All right, I replied after a pause. Just don't scratch her. You worry too much. Something about that emoji felt distant. The next morning, she showed up in her white hoodie, hair tied, smile soft. Morning, she said. Morning, I replied, handing her the keys. She's got a full tank. She leaned in, kissed me quickly. I'll be careful. Promise. I know, I said. I trust you. She smiled faintly. That means a lot. As she drove off, I watched the GTR disappear down the street. Silver paint catching sunlight like a goodbye. Hassan called later. She took the car again. Yeah, bro. You sure she's not? Don't start, I interrupted. She's just helping a friend. Helping or hiding? I sighed. You really need to stop watching dramas. He chuckled. Fine, but I'm telling you, something's off. Evening came. Still, no word from Maya. I sat on my couch, staring at my phone screen like it owed me answers. I called. It rang once, twice, then voicemail. Hey, it's me. Just checking if you're okay. Call me back. Hours passed. Midnight. Silence. Finally, a message came through. Sorry. Busy helping a friend. I'll call tomorrow. I stared at those words for a long time. Something in my chest felt heavy. What kind of friend keeps you out this late? Next day, I met Hassan again. Still nothing? He asked. She texted, I said quietly. Said she was helping someone. Someone, he repeated. Not a coworker? Just someone? Yeah. He gave me that look, the one that said, you know something's wrong, but you're scared to admit it. I tried to laugh it off. You're paranoid. He leaned closer. You'll love her too much to see it. I exhaled. Maybe I do. That evening, I finally saw her. She walked into the cafe, hair slightly messy, eyes tired. Hey, I said, trying to smile. Rough night. She nodded. Yeah, my friend was in trouble. I had to help. What kind of trouble? Just money issues, she said, avoiding my eyes. It's fine now. Studied her face, the way she couldn't hold my gaze, the forced calm in her tone. Maya, I said quietly, If something's wrong, tell me, she smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Nothing's wrong, Aries. Trust me, I whispered. But inside, a small voice whispered back, she's lying. When I dropped her home, she kissed my cheek and said, don't overthink, okay? I'm not, I lied. I watched her walk away under the streetlights, her shadow stretching longer than usual. For the first time in 3 years, I didn't feel peace watching her leave. I felt uneasy. That night, I called again. No answer. A text came instead. Helping a friend again. Don't wait up. And that's when the calm before my storm ended, with one small lie I pretended not to hear. Chapter 2. The lie I didn't notice word count. 700, hey, you taking the car again? I asked as Maya jingled my GTR keys. She smiled, avoiding eye contact. Just for an hour. I have to drop something off for a friend. A friend, I repeated, leaning on the counter. Same one from last week? Her laugh was soft, almost nervous. You're keeping track now? I shrugged. Only because my car's odometer is... She froze for a second, then smiled again. You're being paranoid. Maybe, I said, forcing a grin. Just be careful, okay? Always, she said, kissing my cheek before leaving. The door shut and silence filled the room. My eyes drifted to the empty parking spot. Later that day, Hassan called. Bro, I saw Maya driving near Seder. Thought she said she was at work? My grip tightened on the phone. Maybe she took a half day. Maybe, he said slowly. But she wasn't alone. I felt my chest tighten. Who was with her? Couldn't see clearly. Guy in a hoodie. Don't overthink, but I'm not overthinking. I cut him off. You probably saw wrong, Hassan sighed. All right, man, just be careful. That evening, Maya came home humming, tossing her purse on the couch. How was work? I asked casually. Busy, she said. Did you drive far? Not really, she replied too quickly. Funny, I said, staring at the keys. I noticed extra mileage. Her expression stiffened. You checked? I always check, I said. You went somewhere, Maya. Just tell me. She looked at me, eyes wide. Why are you acting like I'm cheating on you? I didn't say that. You didn't have to. She grabbed her bag. I can't do this right now. Maya? She stormed off to the balcony, phone in hand, whispering into it. I stood in the kitchen, pretending not to notice. The next morning, she was cheerful again. Too cheerful morning, she said. Setting coffee in front of me? Morning, I muttered. Still mad? I wasn't mad, I said. Just curious. She sat across from me, eyes soft. I know you worry, but you can trust me, okay? I nodded. Yeah. Her phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen and flipped it face down. Who's that? I asked. Work. You always say that? I said quietly. She frowned. You think I'm lying? I hesitated. No, I just notice things. She reached across the table, touching my hand. Then notice this. I love you, Aries. Stop imagining things. I smiled weakly. Yeah, maybe I'm just overthinking. She leaned over and kissed my forehead. Good, because I don't want us fighting over nothing. That night, Hassan dropped by. Still giving her your car? He asked. Yeah, she needs it sometimes. He raised an eyebrow. You're too nice, man. She's my girlfriend, Hassan. I trust her. He leaned forward. That's not trust. That's blindness. I glared at him. You don't know her like I do, he sighed. I don't need to. I know how people act when they're hiding something. I looked away. You think she's cheating? I think he said carefully. She's not being honest. I clenched my fists. She wouldn't do that to me, he shrugged. Hope you're right. A few days later, I borrowed my own car back. While driving, I noticed the passenger seat adjusted far back. The glove compartment had a faint scent of cologne. Not mine. I stared at the empty seat beside me, an invisible question sitting there. When I got home, I asked, Who sat in my car? What? She blinked. The seats pushed back. Smells like cologne. You're imagining it, she said quickly. Maybe Hassan sat there last time? Hassan never wears perfume, I said quietly. She exhaled, frustrated. You're suffocating me, Aries. You don't trust me anymore. I'm trying, I said, but you keep giving me reasons not to. She threw up her hands. I can't keep defending myself from things I didn't do. Then stop hiding things, I snapped. Her eyes watered. You've changed. Maybe because something's changed between us, I whispered. She turned away, silent. That night, I heard her talking softly on the balcony again. I couldn't catch words, but I caught a name, Rayon. The sound of it sent a chill through me. When she came back in, I asked, Who's Rayon? She froze, eyes wide. What? I heard you say his name. Her lips trembled. He's just someone from before? Not important. Then why were you whispering his name at midnight? She didn't answer. I stared at her phone lying face down on the table. Just like my trust, she finally said. I promise it's nothing, Aries. Please don't make it something it's not. I nodded slowly. All right, I believe you. But inside, I didn't. I wanted to. God, I wanted to. Yet my gut whispered louder than her lies. And that was the night. I realized sometimes betrayal doesn't break you in one blow. It bleeds you quietly, one excuse at a time. Chapter 3. The night everything changed. Word count. 700. I left work early that evening, grinning like an idiot. Maya had been distant all week. I thought maybe surprising her would help us reconnect. I even bought her favorite ice cream as I pulled into the apartment complex. Something felt wrong. My parking spot empty. My silver GT are gone. I blinked, thinking maybe I parked somewhere else. I checked twice, 3 times. Nothing. My heart dropped. No. No. I dialed Maya's number. Once. Twice. Straight to voicemail. Hey, it's me, I said, trying to stay calm. Where's the car? Did you take it? No response. An hour passed, then 2. Then for finally, around midnight, a text popped up. I'll explain everything tomorrow. Please don't be angry. I stared at the screen, disbelief choking me. Explain what? By morning, I'd already called the police. They said I couldn't file a report without proof of theft. I called Maya again. Nothing. Then I called Kamal, my friend who worked at a dealership. Bro, I said breathlessly, can you check if anyone tried to sell a silver GTR under my name? Wait, GTR. License plate KX921. My blood froze. Yes. Why? Someone came in yesterday with papers signed by you. Said you couldn't make it in person. I felt my pulse hammering. Who was it? He hesitated. A woman. Said she was your fiancé. Pretty long brown hair. My chest went cold. Maya, I whispered. Kamal sounded uneasy. She said you needed quick cash. We transferred the payment this morning. My grip tightened on the phone. You sold my car? He exhaled. Aries, the paperwork looked legit. Her ID matched your address. She had your registration papers. I dropped to my knees. I couldn't breathe. That evening, she finally showed up. Calm. Almost to calm. Maya, I said quietly, where's my car? She looked away. Please don't get mad. I asked a question. She bit her lip. I sold it. The words hit me like a punch. You what? Her voice cracked. I needed the money, Aries. For what? I demanded for Rayan. She said, tears forming. He was in trouble. He owed people money. I couldn't just watch him suffer. I laughed. A sharp, hollow sound. You sold my car to save your ex? He's not just an ex. She cried. He was a part of my life once. He made mistakes, but he doesn't deserve to die for them. And my hands trembled. And I do? Because that car was everything I worked for. You don't understand? Oh, I understand perfectly, I snapped. You lied. For weeks. You used me. And you sold my dream for him. Her voice cracked. I didn't mean to hurt you. I slammed my hand against the wall. Then what did you mean to do? Be a savior? To the guy who dumped you? She flinched. He begged me, Aries. He said he'd change. Said that before, didn't he? She broke down, tears streaming. I thought I was doing the right thing. You wouldn't have helped him. You're damn right I wouldn't have, I said coldly. Because I'm not stupid. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Just the sound of her sobbing and my heartbeat pounding like thunder. I stared at her. The woman I once trusted with everything. Maya, I whispered, do you realize what you've done? I was desperate, she said weakly. Please, I'll fix it. I'll get it back. You can't, I said. It's gone. Just like us. She reached for me. Aries, please. I stepped back. Don't. I love you, she said, trembling. I made a mistake. Please forgive me. Love doesn't look like this, I said. Love doesn't steal. She fell to her knees. I did it for a good cause. He needed help. I stared down at her, my voice breaking, and I needed honesty. She cried harder. Please, don't leave. I looked around the apartment, our photos, our memories all suddenly meaningless. I don't even know who you are anymore. I walked to the door, every step heavier than the last. She grabbed my arm. Aries, please. Don't go. I'll fix everything, I swear. I turned slightly, meeting her tearful eyes one last time. You can't fix something you shattered on purpose. Her sobs echoed as I opened the door. Aries, she screamed, don't do this, please. I didn't look back. I walked out, my chest hollow, my soul burning. The night swallowed her cries as the door shut behind me, and in that silence, I knew the man who walked out wasn't the same one who'd walked in. Chapter 4. The fall word count. 700 days turned into one long, sleepless night. I barely ate, barely spoke. I just sat in silence, staring at the wall, listening to the hum of the ceiling fan like it was mocking me. Maya's side of the closet was empty now, her clothes gone, her scent fading. She'd left a note. I'll give you space. Please don't hate me, space. That's what she called it. I laughed bitterly. Space, I muttered. That's what you get when everything you love disappears. My phone buzzed. Hassan, again. Bro, open the door. His voice said through the speaker. I didn't move. He knocked harder. Aries, I swear, I'll kick it down. With a sigh, I unlocked it. He stepped inside, taking one look at me and shaking his head. You look like death. Feels about right. He tossed me a water bottle. When was the last time you slept? I shrugged. Tuesday. It's Sunday. Stared at the floor. Time doesn't matter anymore. He sat beside me. You've got to pull yourself together, man. I lost everything, Hassan. My car, my girl, my peace. You didn't lose yourself, he said softly. I scoffed. Didn't I? Because the guy who trusted her, he's gone. He hesitated. Maya made a mistake, but I snapped. Don't defend her. I'm not, he said quickly. But you can't live like this. You're drinking, you're skipping work. Your boss called me today, rubbed my eyes. Let him fire me. I don't care. He leaned forward. You do care. You're just pretending not to. Stayed quiet. He sighed. Look, I know it hurts, but you've got to stop punishing yourself for what she did. My voice cracked. She looked me in the eye, Hassan. And lead, I know. I believed her. Every word. Every promise. He put a hand on my shoulder. You loved her. That's not a crime. I stared at the ceiling. No, but being blind is. That night, I sat on the floor with an old photo in my hand, me and Maya laughing on the beach. I could almost hear her voice. You make me feel safe, Riz. Safe? My chest tightened. Yeah, I whispered. Until you stabbed me in the back. The clock ticked past midnight. I couldn't stop replaying everything, her smiles, her excuses, her trembling hands the night she confessed. Every scene looped like a broken movie. And then, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. One message. You should have kept her away. I froze. Ryan. My fingers trembled. You son of a... I muttered. I stared at the text for a long time, heat rising in my chest. Hassan called again, but I ignored it. Another text came through. Guess she didn't tell you everything, huh? My heart pounded. Tell me what? I typed back, no response, just those words, smug, venomous. My hands shook so badly, I almost dropped the phone. I stood up, pacing. My mind spun with rage. He was gloating. He'd taken everything, my car, my peace, my trust, and now he wanted to twist the knife. I punched the wall. Pain shot through my knuckles, but I didn't stop. The glass photo frame shattered at my feet. Blood dripped down my hand. Mixing with the dust, I whispered to myself, he wants me broken, for the first time in days. I felt something other than grief. I felt fire. Morning light crept through the curtains. Hassan was on the couch. Asleep, he'd stayed over after forcing me to eat something. I sat by the window, still clutching my phone. Maya's last text. Rayan's message, two ghosts whispering in my head. I could almost hear Rayan's laugh, that arrogant tone. Like I was some joke. He thinks he won, I murmured. The anger simmered. Steady now, focused. I thought about the job I'd neglected. The people whispering about my downfall, no more. I looked at my bruised knuckles, then at my reflection in the glass. I'm done being the victim. Hassan stirred awake. You okay? Yeah, I said quietly. No, but I will be. He studied me. You look different, because I finally see things clearly. He frowned. What are you planning? I gave a faint, bitter smile. Nothing crazy. Just balance, he sighed. Promise me you won't do something stupid. I promise, I said. But the words tasted like lies, because deep down, I knew something had already shifted. The pain hadn't left. It had just changed shape. And in that shape, I found something new. A reason to stand. A reason to fight. That morning, as the city woke outside, I made myself a silent vow. No more tears, no more weakness. Rayan wanted a war. He just started one. Chapter 5. The awakening word count, 700. Hassan showed up at my apartment uninvited again. Get dressed, he said, tossing me a jacket. I didn't look up from the engine diagram I was sketching. Not tonight, he folded his arms. You've been saying that for months. I'm busy. You're breathing, not living. I sighed. What is it this time? A car meet. Big one. You'll love it. I'm not in the mood for crowds. He grinned. Perfect. You'll blend right in. I stared at him for a long moment, then finally stood. 1 hour. That's it. The meet was chaos. Roaring engines, bright lights, people showing off like they owned the world. I shoved my hands in my pockets, feeling out of place. Hassan nudged me. See, feels good, doesn't it? Feels loud, he laughed. That's the point. Silver Lamborghini roared past, and I couldn't help analyzing the exhaust tone. Custom built, I murmured. But the tuning's off. Someone behind me chuckled. You've got a sharp ear, kid. Turned. A tall man with streaks of gray in his beard extended a hand. Name Zahir? I shook it. Aries, you into cars? Or just pretending? I smiled faintly. I built my own GTR once. Its eyes lit up. Built, not bought. That's rare. It's gone now, I said quietly. He tilted his head. Gone how? Bad deal, I muttered. He didn't press. Instead, he said, I import and restore high-end cars. Always looking for people who actually care about engines, not just the shine. I blinked. You're offering me a job? More like a chance, he said. Come by the garage tomorrow. Show me what you can do. Hassan grinned beside me. Told you this night wouldn't be a waste. I hesitated. I haven't worked in months. Ahir shrugged. Then it's time to start again. And the next morning I stood in front of Zahir Motors, a warehouse that smelled of oil and opportunity. Inside, engines gleamed under white lights. Mechanics moved like a well-timed orchestra. Zahir waved me over. You're late. Traffic, I said. He smirked. Excuses burn faster than fuel here. Grab a wrench. He pointed to a red Ferrari on the lift. Transmission's whining. What's your call? I listened closely, my hands tracing the metal. Clutch misaligned. Probably pressure plate wear. He raised an eyebrow. Show me. I gotta work. Hours passed without me noticing, just the hum of tools and the thrill of precision. When I finished, he started the engine. You were right. I exhaled for the first time in months. Good, I said. He handed me a towel. Start tomorrow. If you last a week, you're in. That week turned into months. I stopped counting days. Stopped drowning in memories. Work became my anchor. Zahir taught me discipline, not just about cars, but life. Patience builds engines in men, he'd say. Some nights, we'd stay late, rebuilding old classics from scratch. He'd talk about his daughter, Sarah, a quiet girl who handled customer logistics. She'd bring us tea and smile politely. You don't talk much, she once said, placing a cup beside me. I used to. Now I fix things instead. Things or yourself? I glanced up. Both, I guess. Then you're in the right place. The more I worked, the less I thought about Maya. Her voice faded. Her betrayal turned into fuel. Every bolt tightened. Every engine restored. It was like reclaiming a piece of myself. Hassan noticed it too. You're back. Man, he said one evening. Not yet, I replied. But getting there? He smirked. You sound like an anime protagonist. I laughed softly. Maybe I am. Just without the happy ending. Who says it's over? He asked. I looked at the glowing shop sign outside. It's not. It's just different now. Weeks later, Zahir called me into his office. You've done good work, Aries, thank you. He leaned back. You've got skill, but more importantly, you've got hunger. Don't lose that. I won't. He smiled faintly. You remind me of myself. Built from pain, shaped by work. His words hit deeper than I expected. Pain makes you focus, I said quietly. Only if you learn from it, he replied. Otherwise, it owns you. I nodded. I'm learning. He stood, extending his hand again. Welcome to the team. That night, I sat on the hood of a half-finished car. Staring at the stars through the open roof, the wind smelled like metal. And gasoline, the scent of rebirth. I whispered to myself, I'm not the same guy anymore. Maya's ghost was gone. Rain's message didn't haunt me. All that was left was drive cold, focused, unstoppable. And for the first time in forever, I felt something I thought I'd lost. Peace. Chapter 6. Success has a sound, and it roars word count, 700. The first thing I heard that morning was the growl of the V10 engine echoing through the garage. It wasn't noise, it was music. My music. Zahir clapped from behind me. She's perfect, Aries. I smiled, wiping my hands on a cloth. Every bolt, every curve, she's everything I dreamed of. He grinned. You've come far, son. Not far enough, I said. But close. He studied me for a moment, still thinking about her. I hesitated. Sometimes, mostly when I'm too happy. He nodded knowingly. Pain has a way of reminding us where we started. I looked at the polished Lamborghini Huracan, matte black, razor-sharp lines, custom-tuned engine. She's not just a car. She's my story. Zahir chuckled, then let the world hear it. Later that day, Hassan barged into my workshop like a storm. Guess what? I didn't look up. You finally learned to knock. He ignored me. Zahir's hosting his luxury car expo tomorrow. You're going. I'm not a fan of crowds, I muttered. He crossed his arms. You owe me. I dragged your sorry self out of that cave, remember? I sighed. One night only. Promise. Promise. He smirked. Oh, and rumor says Maya and Rayan are attending too. My wrench froze midair. What? He shrugged. Apparently Rayan's showing off his new investment. A cheap replica of success. I forced a breath. I don't care, really. He grinned. Because you just tightened that bolt 3 times. I glanced down. He was right. My hand trembled slightly. He leaned against the table. Could walk in there and show them who you became, or you could hide. Your choice. I stared at the Lamborghini again, sleek, powerful, unbreakable. Fine, I said quietly. I'll go. The next evening, the expo buzzed with cameras and applause. Luxury cars glittered under spotlights, each one a symbol of someone's ego. I rolled the Huracan inside. Its matte finish devouring the light around it. Conversations stopped. People turned. Zahir beamed beside me. Let them see what pain can build. I nodded slightly. Let them hear it too. As I stepped out of the car, a voice froze me mid-step. Aries? I turned. Maya stood across the showroom, elegant dress, trembling hands, same familiar perfume that once lived on my jacket. Rayon stood beside her, arm lazily slung around her waist. His smirk was still as punchable as I remembered. Hassan whispered from behind me, "Showtime." I swallowed the rush of old rage. "Stay cool," I muttered. Zahir stepped forward to greet them politely, unaware of the history tangled between us. Rayon extended a hand toward me. "Didn't expect to see you here, man." "Yeah," I said, gripping his hand just tight enough. "I'm full of surprises." Maya's voice cracked. "You've built this." "From scratch." I looked her straight in the eyes. "Sold one dream, built another." Her lips parted, but no words came out. Rayon scoffed. "Not bad. Still money can't buy class." Smiled faintly. "No, but it can expose those who lack it." Zahir looked between us, clearly sensing the tension. "Aries, how about you introduce the car?" "With pleasure," I said. I stepped up to the microphone. "It's Huracan, ISNT, just a machine. It's rebirth, forged from failure, tested by betrayal." The crowd murmured. Cameras flashed. Kimia looked down, guilt flickering across her face. Rayon shifted uncomfortably. "Nice speech," he muttered. I walked past him, stopping beside the car. "I want to hear how success sounds." Without waiting for an answer, I slid into the driver's seat. Hassan grinned. "Do it." The engine came alive with a thunderous roar, deep, confident, untamed. It echoed through the glass walls like a declaration. I revved it once. Twice, feeling the vibration run through my chest. Maya flinched at the sound. Rayhan stepped back, startled. Zahir smiled. "Beautiful." I whispered to myself, "It's not just the car that's roaring." When the crowd applauded, I saw something change in Maya's expression. Realization. Maybe regret, but I didn't care anymore. That roar wasn't for her. It was for me. Hassan slapped my shoulder. "You just burned the past in front of everyone." "Good," I said. "Let the ashes glow." He laughed. "What's next?" I looked at the horizon through the glass ceiling. Tomorrow. Always tomorrow.
How mean.
The Lamborghini idled softly, like a beast tamed by purpose. I tightened my grip on the wheel. "Success has a sound," I whispered, "and it roars." Then I revved it one last time, not to show off, not to impress, but to remind myself of what it took to get here. Pain, work, fire, and the will to rise above it all. Chapter 7. When the past sees you shine, word count, 700. The expo floor shimmered with lights and whispers. Every camera pointed toward my Lamborghini Huracan matte black, edges like a blade, heart like fire. Zahir leaned toward me. "You ready?" I took a breath. I was born ready. "Good," he said. "Because the crowd's waiting." I gripped the wheel, feeling the engine vibrate through my veins. The roar was alive, like it knew tonight wasn't about cars. It was about closure. As I rolled onto the stage, the announcer's voice echoed through the hall. "Ladies and gentlemen, the star of tonight's show, a fully custom-built Lamborghini Huracan, designed by the youngest engineer on our team, Aries Khan." The applause hit like thunder. I stepped out slowly, adjusting my jacket. Every movement deliberate, every breath controlled. Then I saw them, Maya, her hand in Rayon's. For a second, everything else disappeared. The noise, the lights, the people. Just her face. Beautiful, yes. But her eyes, they looked tired, heavy, haunted. Rayon smirked. "Didn't think I'd see you here, man." My lips twitched. "Didn't think I'd still matter to you?" He chuckled. "You matter?" "You're just the guy." Maya's grip on his arm tightened. "Rayon, stop." He ignored her. You're still playing with bolts and engines while real men are making moves? Real men? I asked calmly. Remind me which kind of man hides behind his girlfriend's mistakes? His face twitched. Careful, Aries, or what? You'll sell my car again? The words slipped out smooth, sharp, and final. Maya's eyes widened. Aries, please, I cut her off. Don't. Not tonight. The crowd around us started whispering. Cameras turned. Reporters leaned in. Zahir raised an eyebrow from across the floor, silently asking if I was okay. I nodded. This wasn't rage. It was balance. Rayon forced a laugh. Nice show, man. But anyone can rent a car. It's true, I said, walking toward the Huracan. But not everyone can build one. He frowned. What? I turned to the crowd. This car was handcrafted by me. Every piece, every inch. It's not a purchase. It's proof. The announcer confirmed it over the mic, excitement in his voice. That's right. Aries personally designed and engineered this masterpiece. The audience gasped. Rayon's smirk died. His color drained like someone unplugged his pride. Maya just stared, lips parted, guilt written across her face like a confession. She took a step toward me. Aries, I didn't know. Yes, you did. Tears filled her eyes. I made a mistake. I thought I was helping him, I said, nodding toward Rayon. At my expense. She shook her head. I'm sorry. I stared at her for a long moment. I don't need sorry. I needed loyalty. The silence between us was heavy, a weight years in the making. Rayon muttered, You think one car makes you better than us? I looked him straight in the eyes. No, my work does. The crowd erupted into applause. Not for him. For me, Zahir smiled proudly in the background. Hassan gave me a thumbs up, mouthing, Finish it. I turned back to the car, sliding into the driver's seat. The leather felt like victory. The steering wheel power, Maya called out, Aries, wait. I didn't answer. I pressed the ignition. The engine roared to life, a deep guttural sound that silenced everything else. Every head turned. Every flash lit the room. That sound wasn't just horsepower. It was poetry. It was Mia, Rai, and shielded his face as the lights reflected off the car's glossy body. Turn it off. He yelled. I revved it again, louder, stronger. The noise shook the walls. People cheered. Phones filmed. Maya covered her ears, tears streaking her cheeks, and I just smiled. No words. No revenge speech. Just the sound of everything I'd become. That was my justice. As I rolled forward, I caught Maya's gaze one last time through the tinted glass. Her lips trembled. She mouthed something, maybe I'm sorry, maybe I miss you. But I was done reading between her lines. I hit the throttle. The car surged forward, leaving her reflection shrinking in the rearview mirror. Behind me, applause exploded. Ahead of me, Freedom Hassan met me outside the hall, laughing. You didn't even have to say a word, bro. I smirked. Why talk when success can roar louder? He grinned. Rayon looked like he saw a ghost. Good, I said, stepping out of the car. Now he knows what ghosts can build. The wind brushed my face as I looked at the moonlit sky. For the first time in years, the silence felt right. Not empty, earned, I whispered. When the past sees you shine, it goes blind. And the Lamborghini purred beside me like it agreed. Chapter 8. The Confrontation Word Count. 700. The night air outside the expo was cold, kind that cuts through expensive suits and fake smiles. I stood near my car, watching the city lights blur against the glass. The sound of distant applause still echoed behind me. Then I heard her. Aries. Her voice cracked. I didn't turn right away. I just sighed. You shouldn't be here, Maya. She walked closer, heels clicking on the pavement like echoes of old choices. Please, just listen. I glanced at her. Mascara streaked her face, and her designer dress looked out of place against her trembling hands. You look different, I said. Real, for once. 8. Her lips quivered. Rayon's gone. I raised an eyebrow. That didn't take long. He left when the money ran out, she said quietly. He said I was too much trouble. I lost everything, Aries. I leaned against the car. No, you sold everything. Her eyes filled again. I thought I was doing the right thing back then. He promised. I cut in. He promised you a shortcut. You took it? I paid for it. She took a shaky breath. I'm sorry. For everything? I laughed softly. Not out of joy, out of disbelief. Sorry, the most expensive word that costs nothing. She stepped closer. Please, just let me explain. There's nothing to explain, I said. You sold my dream to save a mistake. Now that mistake sold you too. Her shoulders collapsed under the weight of those words. She whispered, I know I ruined everything between us. But seeing you tonight, it made me realize what I threw away. I looked at her, really looked. Not as the girl I loved, but as a lesson I'd learned the hard way. You didn't ruin us, Maya. You just revealed who you were. I ruined myself thinking you were different. Tears streamed down her cheeks. I didn't mean to hurt you, but you did, I said calmly. And pain doesn't disappear just because you regret causing it. She reached for my arm. Can't we at least talk? Maybe start over? I shook my head slowly. No, I don't rebuild things that chose to collapse. Her voice broke. You hate me. I looked away. No, I just don't love you anymore. That silence afterward, it wasn't cruel. It was final. She sank to the curb, crying softly. You don't understand how hard it's been. Everyone turned their backs on me. I have nothing left. I exhaled. You had me once. You traded me for comfort. Now you're asking me to pity the cost of that trade? I was scared. She shouted suddenly, voice echoing in the night. I didn't want to lose everything. That's worse. Her sobs filled the air, raw, painful, human. For the first time, I didn't feel anger. I felt peace. I can't undo what I did, she whispered. But if I stopped her, don't wait for a day that won't come. Hassan appeared in the distance, leaning against a car, watching quietly. He didn't interrupt. He knew this wasn't revenge, it was release. Maya looked up at me, eyes swollen, voice small. You've changed. Yeah, I said. You made sure of that. Do you ever think about us? She asked weakly. Every time I build something new, I replied. Because you taught me what not to lose again. Her mouth trembled. I wish I could go back. You can't, I said softly, but you can move on. She looked at me like I'd just spoken another language. I took a deep breath. Goodbye, Maya. She reached out one last time, voice shaking. Aries, please. I stepped back. Take care of yourself. That's the only forgiveness I can offer. Her tears glistened under the streetlight, and for a fleeting second, I remembered the girl who once made my world brighter. But the man she betrayed no longer lived here. I turned, opened the car door, and slid inside. The engine hummed, calm, steady, alive. Maya called out softly, You really won't look back. I started the car. If I do, I'll stop moving. The tires rolled forward, the city swallowing her fading figure in the rearview mirror. Hassan climbed into the passenger seat, a proud grin on his face. You okay? Better, I said. She looked wrecked, he murmured. She looked like the past, I replied. He nodded slowly. You didn't need revenge, bro. You just needed to show her you survived. I smiled faintly. No, I needed to show myself. We drove off under the neon skyline, car slicing through the night like freedom itself. For the first time, silence didn't ache. It healed. Chapter 9. Karma never misses word count. 700 the morning I saw the news. I almost laughed. Hassan barged into the workshop waving his phone. Bro, you need to see this. I looked up from under the hood of a car. What now? Another rich guy pretending he knows engines? He grinned. No, man. It's Rayan. I froze. What about him? Hassan shoved the phone in my face. A headline blazed across the screen, Businessman Rayan. Malik under investigation for fraud and embezzlement. I read the first few lines. Fake investors. Stolen money. Unpaid debts. Then the words "fled the city" hit me. I leaned back, exhaling slowly. So, karma found its way? Hassan smirked. Guess you don't need to do anything after all. I never did, I said quietly. It was always going to come back. Later that day, I scrolled through my own feed. The Lamborghini I built my car was everywhere. Videos, reels, car forums. Comments flooded in. This guy turned betrayal into horsepower. From heartbreak to horsepower legend. That engine roar? That's called moving on. Each line felt surreal. I never chased fame, but somehow people saw my pain and found strength in it. Sarah walked in, holding a cup of coffee. You've gone viral again, she said with a teasing smile. I smirked. Guess the internet loves a comeback story. She tilted her head. No, they love truth. You didn't fake it. You just kept building. Her words lingered. Maybe that's what it really was. Not revenge, not a show. Just growth. A few days later, I got a message from an unknown number. He's gone, Aries. Rayan disappeared. I don't even have money for rent. I didn't need to check the name. I typed one line back. Take care of yourself, Maya. Then I put the phone down. No anger. No satisfaction. Just closure. That night, Hassan and I sat on the rooftop of Zahir Motors, overlooking the glowing skyline. The wind carried the faint hum of engines from the distance. He handed me a soda. So how does it feel? Watching karma do your job for you? I chuckled. Peaceful. Like hearing a song end exactly where it should? He asked carefully. Sometimes, I admitted. Not with hate. Just as a reminder. He nodded. You know, most guys would have lost themselves. I did, I said, but I rebuilt from the wreckage. He smiled. Classic Aries, fixing things that shouldn't work anymore. I grinned faintly. Guess that's what engineers do. The next morning, Mr. Zahir called me into his office. His warm smile greeted me before his words did. You've made quite the name for yourself, son. People don't just admire your cars. They admire your story. I didn't mean to make it public. He leaned back. That's the best kind of story. The one that isn't performed. It's lived. I nodded, grateful. You gave me a chance when I was falling apart, he chuckled. No, I just gave you a garage. You rebuilt the man inside it. His words hit deep. That evening, as I drove the Huracan down the coastal road, the sky painted itself in orange and violet. The world outside the window blurred like old memories I no longer needed to keep clear. My phone buzzed with notifications, fan messages, offers, interviews. None of it mattered. What mattered was the peace in my chest. The kind that doesn't shout, doesn't burn. It just is. I spoke softly to myself. Voice lost beneath the engine's steady hum. You see, Maya? I never needed revenge. Karma drives faster than I ever could. The car roared in agreement, wind brushing against my face like freedom. Later, I parked by the sea. The horizon stretched endlessly, vast, calm, and uncaring. I thought about everything I'd lost and everything I'd found after. Pain had been my teacher. Patience, my mechanic. And karma? My quiet companion. Hassan's voice echoed in my mind from that first night after the betrayal. You'll come back stronger. Bro, he was right, because I didn't just come back, I arrived. The world saw the Lamborghini. But I saw the man behind it, the one who refused to break. I started the engine again, feeling the vibration through my hands. It wasn't just power, it was proof. Proof that I could fall, rebuild, and still roar louder than ever. The road stretched ahead, endless, open, waiting. I smiled. Let karma handle the rest. The car surged forward, headlights slicing through the dusk. Somewhere behind me, the ghosts of my past finally disappeared, and this time, I didn't look back. Chapter 10. I drove away smiling, word count. 700. The city looked different at night, softer, almost forgiving. I leaned against the Lamborghini, the same car that once symbolized my revenge. Now nothing more than peace on four wheels. Hassan tossed me the keys. You really going alone? Yeah, I said, pocketing them. One last drive before I disappear for a while. Crossed his arms. You earned it, bro. Just don't vanish completely. I won't, I promised. I just need to feel free for a bit. He smiled knowingly. Freedom's a nice word for healing. Guess so, I replied. And I think I finally understand it. I climbed into the driver's seat, the leather familiar beneath my hands. Hassan tapped the window. Don't forget the world's watching now. You're not the guy who got betrayed anymore. I looked at him and smiled faintly. I know. I'm the guy who built his own road. He laughed. Exactly. Go drive it, man. The engine came alive with a low, powerful growl. The sound wasn't anger anymore. It was calm, strength. I rolled down the window as the wind brushed against my face. The streets were nearly empty, lights blurring into golden streaks as I accelerated. I whispered, same roads, same city, but not the same me. The city whispered back through the hum of tires on asphalt. As I drove past the old cafe where Maya and I used to sit, I slowed down. The place was still open, same yellow lights, same chipped tables. My chest tightened, but I smiled. It's funny, I murmured. You thought you broke me there. The engine purred gently, almost like it was listening. I could almost hear her voice again, laughter echoing through my memory. For a moment, it hurt. Then, it did. My phone buzzed, another message from a journalist asking for an interview. I ignored it. Not everything needed to be shared. Some stories were meant to be lived quietly. I pulled up to the bridge that overlooked the whole city. The skyline shimmered like a painting, the same one I used to stare at, wondering where I went wrong. Now, I just watched it breathe, the lights reflected off the car's hood, dancing like stars caught in metal. I smiled, resting my hands on the steering wheel. Thank you. Maya, I whispered. Not with bitterness, with clarity. Not for breaking me, I continued softly. But for showing me who I could become after you did. The words hung in the air. Carried away by the wind, my phone rang again. This time, it was Hassan. Yeah, I answered. He chuckled. You sound far away already. I am, I said. But not lost, just. Ahead, he paused. You ever gonna forgive her? I already did, I replied. Forgiveness isn't for her. It's for me. Deep, he teased. You're turning into a philosopher now. I laughed quietly. Nah, just a guy who finally stopped chasing closure, he sighed. Proud of you, man. I know, I said gently. Thanks for sticking around when I didn't deserve company. Always, he said. Now go enjoy that sunrise you keep talking about. I plan to. I hung up and started the car again. As the first shades of dawn touched the horizon, the city began to fade behind me. The road stretched endlessly ahead, open and silent. The air felt cleaner, lighter, like every breath was a reminder that I'd made it through. I had thought about everything that had brought me here. The betrayal, the anger, the rebuilding. Each piece of pain had shaped me into something unbreakable. The past wasn't a wound anymore. It was a lesson. The car hummed softly, gliding like a dream across the empty highway. I smiled. This is it. My new beginning. For once there was no rush, no destination, just movement, freedom, peace. The sun began to rise fully now, painting the sky gold and pink. The light spilled across the hood of the Lamborghini like a blessing. I laughed softly, shaking my head. You really did it, Aries. You drove through hell and came out shining. The engine's rhythm matched my heartbeat, steady, alive. The city behind me grew smaller until it was just a blur. The future stretched ahead, full of unknown turns, and for the first time, I wasn't afraid of any of them, because I wasn't driving to escape anymore. I was driving toward something myself. I rolled the window down one last time and let the cold wind hit my face. Goodbye, old life, I whispered. You taught me well, and with the sun breaking over the horizon and the roar of the engine chasing it, I pressed the pedal down. The Lamborghini surged forward, slicing through the morning light, and for the first time in forever, I drove away smiling.